good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. Come on! Wenger said fourth was like a trophy. Well, Arsenal, I'm listening to you, bro. I'm listening to you. It feels good right now, my people. It feels good. I can see you in the comments. Don't get carried away. And I agree with you, but woo! It feels good, baby. It feels good. It feels like fourth right now, people. Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, people. Today is gonna be one of the most shameless episodes that you have ever watched. And guess what? I'm all for it, people. We are going straight into Granit Xhaka mode from the get-go. I want to see your comments. I want to know how you're feeling. Feels good to be home, baby. Feels good to be home. I'm shameless and I'm proud, people. I don't care. Look at the background. Gabby, Martinelli, Thierry Henry, same finish, same end. All my days. Wenger told me it was a trophy and I never listened. Four feels good. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Calm down. If Man United win, they go back above us. Spurs have got games in hand. We'll mess it up. I'm living in the moment, people. I'm living in the moment. And damn, fourth feels good. All them years I took fourth for granted. Now, it's party time. If I had time, I might have got a bottle of champagne. Listen, end it. End it. I want the season to finish. There's too much going off the pitch. End the season. Live in the moment, people. Live in the moment. Live in the moment, my gooners. They're going to be hating on us right now. They're going to hate on us. Why? We've suffered for a long time. Let us live. Let me live. A Man United friend of mine, he messaged me this morning going, oh, if United win on Saturday, they'll be above you. I said, message me on Saturday. Right now, I can't hear you, people. Right now, I can't hear nobody that is below my team in the table. I'm too high. I'm at the dizzy heights of fourth. They're calling it third loser. I don't care. The merch is coming, people. Don't worry. Next day delivery. But you have to order before 3 p.m. that day to get it the next day. End it. End it. I'm here, people. I'm here. Tammy, I'm not getting carried away, but I'm going to enjoy the moment. Fourth tastes good right now, people. Shameless settings. I don't give a damn. I'm singing Sweet Caroline. I'm doing the whole thing, people. We're shameless. All my fellow gooners, enjoy yourself. Listen, we're having a discussion today. We're having a discussion about Arsenal. But these are the terms and conditions of today's stream. These are the terms and these are the conditions. I'm taking my time right now. You know, take your time. I'm not going to sing Take My Time with it, though. I remember how that ended up before. You know, like when you go out to a party, people, you have to turn up with some ID to get in. You know what I mean? You have to have some ID. Can you show me your ID? Yeah, that's who I am to get in. On today's stream, if your team is not on this list, this is the guest list. This is the top four. Everything outside of this, I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know what's going off outside of it. If your name is not on the screen right now, then I can't guarantee that I will read any of your messages today. Because, you know, I'm quite high up right now. I don't know what's going on down there. Yeah, you know, Man United, Spurs, I don't know, people. I don't know. But if your name is on the list, then you can enter with ease. There's no problem. I'm the bouncer right now. If your name is on this guest list, then we can have a conversation. We can talk. Sidon, yo, man, you're going to have to email me or send me a letter. I don't know. Yeah. No, I'm not interested in the points. If your name is not on the list, then you're going to have to reach me at a later date. By Saturday, this might all go wrong. But right now, I'm enjoying myself, people. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying myself. Absolutely shameless. Shameless and proud. We look up, we don't look down. People, we were bottom of the league. First international break. Bottom, rock bottom. No one below us, everyone above us. Saeed can't get in this party right now, bro. Spurs fans talking about games in hand. You better win them games in hand because I'm sure they play Liverpool at the weekend. You're going to hold smoke. Come on, people. We're high right now. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. This is VIP. They've got the red rope around it, man. You can't get in here with that normal entrance £10 fee. We got bottles on the table. We're living. Feels good. Feels good to be home. Feels good to be home, people. There you go. Liverpool game in hand. Don't worry about them. You know, as long as we're in the top four, we don't care if they're 50 points ahead of us. As long as we're in there. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Get them bottles out, people. Man, what an intro. I love it. X, you can't get in. Mind the gap, bro. You can't get in. I don't care. I'm shameless today, people. We've had a tough time, bro. We were bottom of the table. We were rock bottom of the league. Nico says positivity. Listen, let me tell you something about me. I'm a reflection of what the team does and the manager does. If you man are bottom of the league, you're going to get meltdowns. You're going to get negativity. You're going to get Arsenal therapy. You ain't going to like what you're going to hear, but that's the reality of where we were. You put us in the top four, start winning games, guess what? I start pulling out trophies. I start acting hella shameless. Clip the whole intro. Clip that Ross. School fuggery. Do what you need to do, bro. I'm not quite screaming Arteta in. I can't lie, Chef Chris. You can't put them words into my mouth. But, you know, we're enjoying ourselves right now. I feel good. I feel like there's some pride back in the cannon, man. The cannon's ready to start shooting again. We've been moving like a water pistol, Super Soaker 500 for about 10 years. I've had enough of it. I want the cannon to start firing again. Look at the picture. Look at Gabby, man. Look at him. Look at him and T. Oh, man. Jeez, Arsenal. The kit ain't arrived yet, people. Just give me some time. You know, if we get a knock on the door during the stream, just forgive me. But come on. Like you said, man, literally started from the bottom. Now we're here, people. We were rock bottom. We were eating cheeseburgers. Today we eat prime steak, people. We eating good today. We're living good. Right, that was a long intro. I was off. But listen. Big up to every single one of you in the chat today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Whether you're Arsenal or whoever you support, I really appreciate your time and energy as always. Let's enjoy ourselves today. We can reflect on what, for me, I watched the game again this morning. As I said, I always watch the game again because on the stream, you miss a lot of things, man. And I think that was our best performance of the season. Now I've watched it back. I think that was the best performance of the season from Arsenal, especially when you consider the opposition, the pressure, the circumstances due to what's happening, you know, with Aubameyangs and stuff like that. I think that's the best performance of the season. So we move. We're going to assess it. We're going to get into the press conference. Lots to talk about today. Make sure you lick down that like button. Thank you to everyone who tuned in yesterday. We got over 2,100 likes on the watch-along last night. That positive energy, man, it felt good. Ice Lolly said, top four, splash it on your body, people. Hey, big up with the super chat, bro. Michael Connor said... Oh my! Hey, cause I got high, because Afro man settings. Da 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 da. I can't talk to Man because we're so high. Ooh, I can't speak to Tottenham too because we're so high. Da da da. Well, yo, it's energy settings today, people. I feel good. The top four feels ferocious right now. Oz said we need Cruz on more streams, Curtis. Yeah, man, he can jump in, man. He's you know, he's ready to do his thing anyway. Perry said, school fuggery, clip that intro. Clip that Ras, man. We're moving. Big C, yes. Big up Pat Does Fitness. Energy settings today, people. I'm telling you, we're not ramping. Not ramping. I got him bare salty messages. Oh, man. We went from accepting cookies to top four. You know what I mean? Cookie settings, people. Millie's cookies settings. Joel B said Curtis is a black belt in YouTube intros. Hey, we try, man. We're trying. We're trying. Phantasma said, big up from Houston, Texas, Big C. Tottenham was our best, but I agree you on how they performed under the circumstances. I actually think last night was even better than Tottenham. And I'm going to tell you why shortly, people. I'm going to tell you why. Justice said, Curtis, you're giving me joy this morning in Texas. Big up from Houston, Texas. Big up Gambian Guna, Afro, man. I forgot about him. Come on, man. Them old school tunes, people. Them old school. Stand up. If you're in top four, stand up. Come on! Big up man like Gary Lewis. You lot are going to set me off, man. I'm trying to calm down now. I don't want to go too far with it. But yeah, clip that, Ross. I don't care. We live in the moment. I'm enjoying myself. Let's keep it moving, people. So, let's talk about last night's game. Jay Dime said, they say as fans live negativity. You know what I mean? We're just a reflection of the team, people. If you perform, we're going to be happy. It's going to be epic scenes. If you lot are, bottom of the league and getting spanked, then what do you expect? What do you expect to happen? Big up Craig said, big up Curtis, that was Arsenal's best performance last night. Let me break it down. Hey, Schlats, hey, don't come in with that. We forget about that Liverpool game. Yeah, we got waffle settings coming up as well, people. It's going to be a long one. Get your drink, get your snacks. Let's get into it. Right, let's talk about the game last night. We went 3-point collecting. I believe this was the best performance of the season. Now I've watched the game back as well. I definitely think this was the best performance of the season. And the key word, and something I mentioned on the stream yesterday, is control. Control, people. The best teams in football control games. I think we controlled that game yesterday for the whole game. But the Tottenham game, because a lot of people saying the Tottenham game for me, why I don't think the Tottenham game was better was I felt Tottenham were heavily involved in that second half when we played Tottenham. If you remember back, Kane missed a sitter. They could have had a penalty. They scored. I think this was totally different. I think we caught West Ham at the right time. I got to be honest, I thought we caught West Ham at the right time. I don't think they were good yesterday. I watched them against Burnley the other day. I feel like Europe and everything is catching up with them. They can't rotate. They play a very similar team every week. I saw that Mikel Antonio hasn't scored for 7 games. I think their run of games is catching up with them. But when you look at the stats here, people, 21 shots on target for Arsenal. 21 shots on goal, 8 on target, 57% possession. West Ham had 1 shot on target in the whole game. That is good against a team that, let's face it, they were 4th going into that game last night. They were 4th. They were a team that, they've beaten Chelsea. They've beaten Liverpool. They beat, I think they beat Man City and Man United in the Cups. These are no mugs. We've seen West Ham rough teams up. But we played well. And as I said, people, best performance of the season for me. Craig said, Curtis, do you think Pepe will force a move in January? We're going to speak about Pepe. It doesn't look good for him. Doesn't look good at all. Nicholas said, Curtis, no word of credit for Arteta. Listen, Nicholas, listen to me, my friend. If I'm saying this is the best performance of the season, of course there is credit there for the manager. We're going to talk about in the player ratings. I have to give credit to the manager. And he will get his flowers. Don't you worry about it. Today, if you caught this stream at the start, my intro was a picture of Mikel Arteta. That should tell you how much credit I'm giving the guy. Just be patient, my friend. He'll get his flowers today. Don't you worry about it. But this game we controlled. Nicholas says, Fears, big up to you, bro. And I enjoyed it. I don't often enjoy watching Arsenal play. I can't lie, but I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it. And I thought we were quality. Shayful said, would you take Rice for 80 million? Nah, I wouldn't. I got to be honest. Would I take Declan Rice at Arsenal? Yes. Would I take Declan Rice for 80 million? No. So that is where the question, I separate the question. A lot of people think I really don't rate Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is a good player. I think he'll leave West Ham in the summer. I don't think he's worth £80 million. I've seen players do what he does in Europe who you'd get for half the price. I think it's heavy English tax. I'm not saying it's Maguire Part 2, but I think you get a player in Europe who can do what he does for 40 million. That's just my That's just my opinion. Big up Cody Mystified Abe. Thank you for that kind donation last night on the stream, bro. Appreciate it. He said that price is way too high. You need to cut it. I'm telling you. Basmati rice, jollof rice, rice and peas, man. You don't need to spend 80 million for Declan jollof rice, man. We don't need that. Captain Sal said Martinelli, generational talent, Klopp's words. And I agree. 6 million said Calvin Phillips better than rice and peas. I just think in Europe you can get a play. You know, Kessie's a free agent in the summer. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to spend 80 million on Declan Rice, in my opinion. DV said, Big C, we've now beaten Leicester, Spurs, Villa and West Ham, who at the start of the season everyone said would finish above us. So credit must be given to this young team and manager. Let's get into the player ratings, and we'll break a lot of this down, people, and what I think Arsenal need to do moving forward. Because let's face it, I'm moving super hyped today, right? But there's a long way to go. The race isn't over. Arsenal still have issues that they have to deal with. You know, we have to address our away form, for example. These are things we have to handle. Oh, Cole said, big up my G from Jamaica, feeling happy today. No jokes. Come on, man. 21 shots. The cannon is firing, people. No more water pistol settings, man. Lars said, Big C, Benjamin shut down Antonio. Right, let me give the players and the manager their dues, people. Let me give them their dues. Give them the player ratings. Let's enjoy it. Usually I'm slaughtering people, but this time we can enjoy it. You know the drill. Every player, we discuss their performance. You throw your rating into the comments, and we'll try and meet somewhere in the middle. We've got over 1,000 of you in the chat already, people. Can we hit 1,000 likes today? And, we went 3-point collecting last night, that's for sure. Let's start with Aaron, Gianluigi Buffon, Ramsdale in goal. Another clean sheet for Ramsdale. Do you know what? This is how I view football and how I view players. Opinions can change, and you should never get too carried away one way or another. Ramsdale's been fantastic so far. Most of the signings have been good so far. They have to do it over a long period of time. How many times have we seen players and said, wow, he's on fire, he's unplayable. Next minute, you don't see them, man, for time, you know. So I still think we have to put people into context. I've seen people tweeting last night saying, oh, Ramsdale's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. And I was like, okay, I understand you're hyped up about his performances. I think you have to put that into context. You have to give that a longer period of time before you start saying things like that. I don't think you prove yourself in half a season. It's about the whole season. But, yeah, exactly, Leno. I remember after one season, people were saying, yo, Leno, this is finally the goalkeeper we've been looking for years. You know, a year later, most of us wanted Emi Martinez to replace him. Now he's been replaced by Ramsdale. He's a distant memory. So what I would say with all of our signings, I don't think we need to start running round saying, oh, Ben White's the best centre-back, Ramsdale's the best goalkeeper. Let them handle their business. They're playing well. Respect them. We're going to give them their flowers. It's just, it's that simple. And Ramsdale gets a 7 for me. And Ramsdale gets a 7. For this fact here that Hugh Murdoch says, one shot on target. Wasn't tested, really. He made one good save that he tipped wide. Came out, collected his crosses. Kicking was solid. Clean sheet. Keeps up the great form. 7 out of 10. Well done. So I have to big him up for that. I think his personality is infectious. And I don't think Leno had much of a personality in goal for Arsenal, to be honest. So we give Rambo 7 out of 10. Another quality performance. His one save was good. He got booked as well, but I think he was time wasting. Let's talk about Tomiyasu. He is very... I always give very balanced opinions on people. Again, a lot of people saying I think Tomiyasu's been really, really good this season. He's settled in well. He's kind of like that player that goes under the radar every game. And then afterwards you think, oh, actually, he played really well. Do you know what I mean? You don't really talk about him that much during the game, Tomiyasu. But then afterwards you go, oh, actually, he played really well. He's Mr. Dependable. Now, again, saw people saying, is he one of the best right-backs in the Prem, this, that, the other? Again, I would say hold that argument. your Trents, your Reece James, your Cancelos. I still don't think he's up there with those guys yet. You have to also put into account that, you know, he has had a few difficult games against Mane, against, you know, a few others, but he is Mr. Consistent right now. What I do like about him, he's starting to get forward a lot more, which I think we needed. Before, I used to think he sat back too much. Now he is getting forward. I'm going to give him 7.5. I didn't used to do 0.5s, but sometimes I think you have to drop a little 0.5 in there. I think he was better than a 7, but not quite an 8. Also, he was up against Fornals, which I think, you know, Fornals never going to run him. He's very solid and seems to have adjusted to the Premier League very quickly. And like you said, 22 years of age, have to big him up. Quality performance from him. He did struggle in the Brighton game. Cucurella gave him problems. You know, Damari Gray bagged against him for Everton. And one of the goals against Liverpool, he switched off at the back post. So, you know, I'm not going to say he's been amazing in every game, but he's definitely settled into the Prem very quickly. I give him a 7.5. I think that's fair. Man said 7.47, yeah, and so on and so forth. 7.5 for him. Kieran Tierney. Interesting with Kieran Tierney, because I kind of came away from that game thinking, you know what, you're not really noticing Kieran Tierney that much in the game. I think, again, though, he was solid. Had that nice volley in the first half that Fabianski tipped onto the bar. Didn't get injured, wasn't on the floor. And I think that's a real positive, you know, because most of the time he's getting treatment at some stage in the game. I don't know. I don't think he was poor. I didn't really see him getting done. I just didn't really notice him that much. I'm going to be positive. I don't remember him making a mistake. I'll give him a 7. Just because I'm in a great mood. Yeah, it was a quiet performance. I don't think he really got troubled. And I'll give him a 7. As long as he stays fit and available, that's the biggest thing. And I think what we realised is, and myself included, I was loving Nuno Tavares' energy going forward. But defensively, I never felt that safe with Nuno Tavares. I do feel a lot more secure with Kieran Tierney at the back, you know, stronger than a Tesco bag, they say. Although I'm not sure how strong those Tesco bags are, but yeah, I give him a 7 out of 10. He's got a good cross as well, that's for certain. Let's go to the 2 centre backs. Whew. I mean, listen, I don't know which pocket Antonio's in. I'm probably going to say he's in Ben White's pocket, because that picture of Ben White just dashing him onto the floor, I was like, yo, Benjamin. I was shocked. I can't lie. Benjamin put Antonio in his pocket. Benjamin, you play like that every week. You don't need to watch football. But again, I put everything into context. Last week, he made Richarlison look like Rivaldo. This week, he wrapped up Antonio. But listen, one thing we can say, and I think this deserves a lot of acknowledgement. How good does it feel knowing what our back four should be every single week if they're fit? All these years of, is it Holding? Is it Mustafi? Koscielny keeps getting injured. You know, we know now. If Ben White and Gabriel are fit, they play together. They're bigging each other up. They're commenting on each other's Instagram posts. They're jumping each other and, you know, chesting each other after the game. I see a real partnership being made here, and I love it. They're both young, both mobile. Ben White is going to get an 8 from me. He's getting an 8 because, to be honest, I thought he was going to get problems from Antonio, and he pocketed him. And I thought he would struggle more out of the two. I'm giving Ben White 8 out of 10. I'm giving, you know what? I'm giving Benjamin White 8 out of 10. Superb performance. Superb. I'm tempted, you know, I'm giving him 8.5. Giving him 8.5 because I thought he would get done by him. There was one time Antonio isolated him. I said, you're done, mate. This is hard food settings. Pocketed him, threw him to the floor. You're getting 8.5, Benjamin. I'm even calling you, Benjamin. I'm not even going to diss you and call you Ben. Benjamin White, 8.5. Straight off Brighton Beach, fella. Let's talk about Gabriel. Straight from the favelas. Oh, Aliabayo. Oh, wow, wow. Da, 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 da. We got some Brazilian flavour in this Arsenal team, man. We're saucy right now. Gabriel, 8 out of 10. You know what? You don't even have to talk about Gabriel that much now. Tank. He's got the best teeth in the Prem. Yeah? Them veneers are top notch. He's got a baby on the way. The guy's a beast. Said it before and I'll say it again. I do not apologize when I say this. In my opinion, Gabriel is the best centre-back to play for Arsenal since Sol Campbell and Kolo Touré. Clip it and come back and talk to me in 2 years. He's going to play for Brazil. And all the big clubs, I'm talking your Madrids and that, are going to be looking at this guy in 2 years. Left-footed Brazilian international playing in the Prem. We're going to have to make sure he's on a big contract. Trust me. Beast. Absolute beast. 8 out of 10. He's just class. I don't even need to talk about him. That's how good he is. I don't need to talk about him. Let's move on. Let's talk about the two centre mids, because these are the only two players on the pitch that I'm kind of like, With everyone else, I'm like, yeah, well, then I got to the two centre mids. I was like, I don't know. Let's start with Thomas Partey. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. They were pretty solid. Do you know what? Let me give them some credit. You were up against Souček and Declan Rice. That's a powerful midfield with Lanzini in the 10. I suppose the biggest bit of credit I could give them is those guys didn't really affect the game. What do I give Partey? 6.5? I thought he was okay. What's your opinions? Am I wrong? Am I doing him dirty? Yeah, I would give him 6.5. Both 6.5, said Bowie. Kid said, he's saying 6.5. Nimbo, 6. Buenos Aires said, midfield is an area we need to improve along with strikers. South London said both 7. Nemo said Partey had a great game. Lewis said Partey being ish, 6.5, 6.5, 6, Xhaka 5. I thought Partey was slightly better than Xhaka if I had to separate the two. Both okay. You know, let's hope he's finding his feet. It's sad, though, because AFCON starts in a couple of weeks. So, you know, maybe by the time he gets in a rhythm, he's going to be flying out. We need more flavour in that midfield. I'm telling you, these men are some plain rice. You know, we need some sauce in there. We need a baller. Granit Xhaka, 6 for me. And, you know, penalty spots. For me, Xhaka was a 6. I think when Granit Xhaka gets through 90 minutes without getting booked, he's done all right for him. Didn't affect the game much. I've got very little to say about the Xhaka performance. I thought he was meaty. He got caught on the ball. Remember that time we had, you know, a touch, lost it in his own half. Could have got caught. Luckily, we didn't get punished. Because we won, I'm giving him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6, and I think that's kind. I'm giving him a 6. I don't think either one of them were great in midfield. That's all I can say. I think we need the ball player desperately. Let's go to the wingers. I'm excited to talk about these two. Never mind anything else. Man said Swiss cheese 6. Paulie said, Kurt, it's very positive we can get goals from our midfield this season. 100%. 100%. Midfielders, wingers, people are scoring. Let's talk about, in my opinion, the man of the match yesterday. Bukayo Saka. Honestly, the biggest compliment that you can get given as a player, as an attacking player, is when the opposition starts doubling up on you everywhere you go. There were times last night West Ham had 3 players out there, but constantly they had 2. He ripped Masuaku to shreds, especially in that first half. He ruined him. Got the assist for Smith Rowe's goal. He was unplayable at times in that first half, Saka. Outstanding. That is the Saka that we've been looking for. We've seen glimpses of it, but not as much this season. Starboy Saka was back in full effect. Masuaku should be ringing the police. He got bodied. That was GBH settings first half. Saka, 9 out of 10. Man of the match. Superb. Played the full 90 as well. Brilliant. That's the Bakayo I want to see. Second half, I felt he tired a bit. Again, I felt he should have been taken off possibly, but man of the match, great performance. 9 out of 10. Loved it. He ruined Masuaku. Brilliant, brilliant performance. Nothing but credit for that performance. And another assist. It's what we want from these guys. Assist goals all the time. Keep them stats ticking over. I love it. Absolutely love it. Saka with end product would be the second best winger. There's a lot of good wingers in the Prem. That's a show in itself. Make sure you smash that like button, people. 1,500 of you in the chat. Can we get 1,000 likes? And subscribe if you haven't already. The aim is to hit 40k by the start of the new year. So we've got 2 weeks. We need about 850 subscribers. I believe we can get that. Let's talk about this guy, Gabriel Martinelli. Honestly, let me say something. They're all our players and I love all of them, right? In terms of Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, who are three like young stars, if you like, in the attack. I love Gabriel Martinelli as a player. I absolutely love him. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if it's the tenacious work rate, the constant running at people, is he giving me slight Sanchez vibes on that left-hand side? And you know what? How crazy is that? Someone just put it. Gunman Khan, electric, gives me Alexis vibes. I love him. I just think he's gonna be a superstar. I honestly think he's gonna be a superstar. The Thierry Henry finish. You know me, people. History Channel settings. History Channel settings. You can see the green screen when I'm on full screen. Look, Thierry and Gabby in the background. Same finish at the same end of the pitch. Finesse. FIFA settings. R1 and shoot, people. What a player. What a player we have got on our hands there. The nutmeg. I need to go full screen for the nutmeg. The nutmeg. We ain't seen that kind of sauce at Arsenal for a minute. We have not seen that. Alexis. We haven't seen that since Alexis. Taking souls. Just rolled it through his legs. The man's kneecaps were smashing against each other, man. Yo, Klopp said he's generational. Ronaldinho said he reminds him of R9 Ronaldo. Like, they're not joking. People don't say things like, I'm not saying he's going to be R9. But these men know. This guy, for me, I agree with this, Buenos Aires. Honestly, I think his ceiling is the highest out of the three of them. Out of Saka, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli. Listen, I don't care which one gets the highest as long as they're at Arsenal. But if I was making a prediction now, I just think it's him. Because he's a goal scorer. And goal scorers tend to be the ones that blow up quicker because goals win games. I love him. I absolutely love him. Big up Fran in the chat. Desire and fearless. What a player. The hunger and the determination in him. Never stops running. That's why he cramps up a lot as well, I think. Gabriel Martinelli gets... I don't even know what to give him. You know what? I never plan my ratings before I come on. The goal and the nutmeg... I'm giving him 9 out of 10. Giving him 9. Giving him 9. The nutmeg, you're just ruining people's lives doing that. You can't do that. You can't do that. I'm giving him 9. Do you know the funny thing? First off, he wasn't great, but he was still going. He's always... If you're playing against him, you know you got a long 90 minutes. You know this guy's going to just... He ain't going to let you breathe. The nutmeg, the Thierry Henry finish, 9 out of 10. You're a monster. What I will say is this. We've been waiting for a long time for Mikel Arteta to unleash him, to allow him to go. You've took the lead off the dog now. Let him go. Let him roam free. Let him keep going. Don't draw him back in if he has a bad game, because he will have a bad game. If he has a bad game, don't say, oh, that's it, drop him. I've got to pull him out of the team. Let him play. I want to see him in the team for the next 10 games. Scoring goals. His confidence is high. He looks fit. He looks sharp. He's taking corners. In-swinging corners. Whipping them in with pace. Let this boy flourish. I love him. 9 out of 10. If Saka hadn't, bodied Masuaku in the first half, he'd probably get man of the match. But, what Saka did in the first half was illegal. He ruined him in the first half. So let's go to Martin Odegaard. He played all right. It's not a bad performance. Wasn't as effective. He did get in between the lines a couple of times where I thought, right, little through ball and we'll be in here. His final ball wasn't quite there, I would say, but he was getting into good positions. Obviously didn't get the goal, came off. I'll give him a 7. I don't think he was great. I'm being a bit kind. I'm going to give him a 7 because he was close to Lacazette. I kind of played with him, linked with him. But I don't think his end product was as good for me to give him anything more than a 7. I don't really remember him shooting apart from the free kick. And his final ball wasn't quite there. I think he picked up good positions. But I wouldn't give him anything more than a 7, to be honest. Which is why I think he came off. Decent touches. I just don't think he hurt West Ham as much as he has been hurting teams in the last few weeks. But still some nice touches. But yeah, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for Martin Odegaard. But still in good form, no problem. That's what he's there for. He's a link man. And he is doing that. So, I give him a 7. Captain Uncle said his work rate is without question. Zupa said Odegaard was the link. Gunman said he was fuming when ESR scored. It's just that competitive nature, I'm sure. CML said 7.5. Some decent touches, 7, says DV. Payan said 7. Stay Fresh said 7. Gunnar 8 said 7. Fran said 7.5. We know Fran is Odegaard's loyal. So Thomas from Norway is not happy. He said 7 is outright. I think 7's very fair. I don't think he really opened up their defence that much. I think 7's fair. Let's go to Lacazette. Skipper. The skipper, man. If he scores that penalty, we're having a discussion about Lacazette as man of the match with Martinelli and Saka, in my opinion. Mangis, I would say you're spot on. I think that was a captain's performance. And I think, if I'm being honest, he's the right person to have the armband, I think, for the rest of the season. Because what I think it does... Initially, I said Gabriel. But what I don't want to happen at Arsenal is something that we've seen a lot of times is players seem to get hamstrung by having the armband at Arsenal. You want the armband to lift somebody's game and their enthusiasm. What you don't want it to do is weigh them down. I look at Gabriel right now, I think you're leading on the pitch anyway. You're building up a great partnership. You're still fairly new to the Prem. Still doesn't speak fluent English, although his English is a lot better. I think leave it with Lacazette. Let all these younger players just, ripen for the rest of the season. And then in the summer, maybe you give it to one of the younger players. I thought Lacazette was so unlucky, man. I've missed penalties in games before. It's devastating. Genuinely, if you don't score after missing a penalty, there's nothing that can make you feel better. The problem with Lacazette, when you open up and take a penalty that way and side foot it, you don't get the same level of power. You have to hit the side netting, or it's got to go high or bottom corner right on the floor. It was a comfortable height for Fabianski. Arsenal have actually missed their last 3 penalties 2 for Aubameyangs and 1 for Lacazette. Is this starting to become a problem now as well? That's Lacazette's first penalty miss since he's been at the club. Rion said, Laka's all-round game is amazing. Fran said, ha, 8 for Laka because of the whole situation off the pitch and produced on it. George said the question is, will he perform like this week in, week out if awarded with the new contract an armband? James said, what goes through your head when taking a penalty? Oh, mate, so much. So many things. It's important you have to just focus. You know, look at the goalkeeper. One thing I say all the time, if you're going to take a penalty to anybody at any level, when you put that ball down and you take your steps back, know where you are putting that penalty before you start the run-up. Never run up to the ball and not know where you're going to put it. Unless you're doing that Jorginho, kangaroo thing where he's waiting for the goalkeeper to commit before he takes it. But anyone else, pick your spot before you hit it. You know what I mean? Especially at lower levels of football. A lot of the time, the goalkeeper actually doesn't move until you've hit it. In the Premier League, they have to, move before you kick it, which is why a lot of Premier League players put the penalty straight down the middle. I think I've missed 2 penalties in my career, both very painful. One was in a penalty shootout. Luckily, we won. And the other one, I don't know if I think I said this story before, but yeah, we were in a game down to 10 men. The game was in Carlisle, which is like a 4-hour journey. We're 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go, and we're down to 10 men. We get a goal back with 10 minutes to go. We get a penalty with about 3 minutes to go. I'm the penalty taker. I've scored about 7 penalties this season, and the goalkeeper basically done me. Goalkeepers will stand in the middle of the goal usually. He stood about a yard to one side. I thought he wasn't aware of where he was standing. So when I put the ball down, I've looked up, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this brother's not in the middle of the goal. He's misjudged it. He's got it wrong. So he's left me that side of the goal to put it. So I'm like, there we go. He doesn't know where he is. I'm going to put it that side. And we'll, this is the equaliser. Little do I know, as I'm running up to take the penalty, the side, he's purposely left that side open for me to go there. So as I'm running up to the ball, he's took 2 steps to that side. By the time this has happened, I've already hit the ball, mate. He's made a comfortable save. It's one of them. Everyone's patting you on the back. Oh, don't worry, mate. Don't worry. You know what I mean? We've lost 2-1. We've got a 4-hour journey. And I've cost us the point. Let me tell you, until I got another penalty and scored, I could not get that penalty out of my head. It is painful. It's absolutely devastating missing a penalty if it costs your team points. Fran said, what's it like to miss a penalty? I would not know. Hey, Fran, they never let you take penalties. That's why. They had you at right wing back running up and down. Now, big up Fran, man. Fran was calm as well at Pez. Man, painful, bro. Painful. But hey, it's one of them. Captain Uncle said, I missed the last penalty at Charlton Soccer 6 against Dappy's team and we lost, was painful. I had a sprained ankle. Hey, don't start looking for an injury, Captain Uncle. You missed the penalty, you got to hold it. Man's doing a David A. Oh, my toe hurt. That's why I lost the fight. Fran, we're going to have to do a penalty shootout on camera or something. We're going to have to settle it. Me and you, 5 penalties each. We go in goal for the other one's penalties. I'm not having Fran coming in here trolling me on penalties. Lacazette, right, let me go. I'm way off topic. Let me go back to Laka. Laka, I have to take the rating down because he missed a penalty. I'm sorry, I have to. I give him an 8. Give him an 8 out of 10. Do you know what? I give him 8.5 because of the leadership. I give him 8.5. If he'd have scored the penalty, that's a 9 performance. He was fantastic. Question I want to ask in the comments. And you know what? Let's get a poll going. Let's get a poll going. It's not a show anymore if you don't get a poll in there. I think I put this up yesterday. My question to all of you, a lot of you would have already answered this last night in the stream. Lacazette, we've had this conversation before, out of contract in the summer. Would you give Lacazette a new contract? Do you know how funny football is? This is how fickle football can be at times. The poll is up, people. Last season, I remember fans slaughtering Lacazette on a regular basis. Twerkazette, they was calling him. Lack of threat. Get rid of him. He's finished. He doesn't score goals. I think he went 8-9 games without scoring. You know, Aubameyangs was the hero, and Lacazette was, get rid of him, we don't want him. And look how times have changed. Aubameyangs gone like that, and Lacazette has gone like that. Now people are saying, captain, love him, want to keep him, blah, blah, blah. I've said many times, I would only give Lacazette 1 year because he's nearly 31 and he's on 170 grand. And if we can't get rid of Aubameyangs, I think having two 30-plus-year-old strikers on big, big money is dangerous. HK said he was Mr. Sideman, now he's stepping up. He is, but is the question you have to ask, is he playing for a contract? Or is he playing because he wants his long-term future? Is this his level? I think as a link player, he can play this role for another couple of years at a high level. If you've got him leading the line, I'm not sure. I'm not sure with him. Harley said you called him twerkers. Hey, listen, I never started that one. That one was already out there. Listen, that was the problem with Lacazette. Lacazette has purple patches, man. You know, he'll go 5 games where you think he's a world beater, then he won't score for 2 months. Big up Cody Mystified. Thank you for your kind donation again, bro. Much appreciated. Said, smash that like button, people. We must be hitting 1,000 likes today quite easily. There's 1,600 of you in the chat. It's a great day for the Gooners. And as I said earlier, people, you know, you can't get into this party if your team is not in the top 4. If your team is 6th, 5th, 11th, you know, you may have to email me because, you know, I'm so high right now in the table. I can't hear anybody that is down there. This is Shameless FC today, people. Big up Cody Mystified. So the poll is there with Lacazette. Lacazette, you prick, said Curtis. Listen, that was an emotional night, man. That was an emotional night, you know. That was bad. Europa League. We were in a lot of pain right now. At that time. So I had to say what I said, man. It felt right at the time, people. Harley said, big up Curtis, love your channel. Mangi said, nah, top 4 stream. Top 4 only, people. You know what I mean? You get to the door of the nightclub, you pull out your ID. If your team ain't in the top 4, you know, you ain't getting in this rave. It's VIP today, people. You know what I mean? You'll have to go to the Weatherspoons around the corner and get some out-of-date Fosters. That's all they got. This is champagne today, people. Champagne football. John Layat said, big up Big C. Both Martinelli and Gabriel learnt from Danielson. They learnt from him, the teacher. This brother loves Danielson, you know. I don't know. Danielson was a party animal at Arsenal, you know. Yeah, man, Weatherspoon settings, people. Listen, it's only right that a man saying and Ketty, oh, don't do it to me, man. People say I give him a hard time all the time. What do you want me to give him? What am I supposed to give him? He ran around. He always runs around. You know, he runs. What am I supposed to give Eddie? Yeah, I was fuming when Eddie came on. Because what's Eddie going to do? He's going to run around a lot. I don't know, people. Eddie, 5, he ran. He ran hard. Cheddar cheese, Eddie gets 5 because he ran. Simple as that. Doesn't do anything. Shouldn't have come on. I put out a tweet saying, why is Eddie coming on instead of Pepe? A guy actually tweeted me saying Eddie's a better winger than Pepe. There's no point me having that debate at that point. There's no point. It's silly. We have this thing at Arsenal. This is why I always say, people, keep balanced. When a player is out of favour and out of form, all of a sudden, yeah, he's crap. He's rubbish. Get rid of him. He's the worst player I've ever seen. Sell him. We don't need him. But a few months ago, we were all calling for that same player. Don't get too caught up in the, you know what I mean? There's no way on earth that Eddie is better than Nicolas Pepe at football. Full stop. Big up the red cannon. Hope you're well. Scott said London is red, perhaps with a tint of blue. But keep that between ourselves. Listen, this is a safe environment for Arsenal fans to come and talk and express ourselves. It's like a counselling session, people. What we say remains in here. We're shameless. We know Chelsea got a couple of the trophies with the big ears, you know. I don't even want to say it because it hurts me. And you get a star above your badge. We know. And yeah, you know, that hurts me. Omri, Barcelona, he missed the chance. And Almunia. But London is red, people. We're shameless. I don't care. We're history. And, you know, these pictures behind are the reason why London is still red, in my opinion. We're shameless. Fit said balance like today. Well, you know what? I went wild at the start. You know, I went crazy at the start, and now I'm, you know, pulling the tone down slightly. So it will balance itself out, Fitz. You know what I mean? I went a bit crazy at the start, but it felt right, people. It felt right. We haven't been good for a while. So I told everyone today that the mood today was shameless. And for anybody who's just turned up, as I said, there are terms and conditions today. There are terms and conditions. If you do not see your team on this screen, then we will have to delay conversations to a later date. Because today, we're at the big table. I'm only talking with the big boys today. If you see your team on the screen, then you're in. You have access. If you do not see your team on this screen, we will have to speak possibly over the weekend. Got Man United fans telling me we're crap. I said, I can't hear you. You know, he said, oh, we go above you if we win. I said, all right, cool. When you go above me, then you can call me. But right now, I think it's best we don't talk because I'm so high in the sky, I can't hear you. Tottenham talking about games in hand. Who cares about games in hand? They're going to be playing 3 games a day at this rate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all of us. I want every gooner to move shameless today. It could be over by Saturday, so enjoy it while we can, people. You know what I mean? Enjoy it while we can. These are the terms and conditions. If you see your team on the screen, then you're more than welcome to, speak to me direct. If you do not see your team, then we will speak at a later date. Big up Snake Eyes. He said, love the stream, Big C. Please lick the like button, people. Subscribe to both Curtis Shaw TV and FFTV. Do you think if we get Abba out, we can give Lacazette? Big up to you, bro. It was nice to see you and your son. Hey, big up, man. You had to get Cruz on here just for a quick guest appearance last night. I mean, listen, we're going to talk about Aubameyangs shortly as well. And what happens, Apparently he was back on the training ground yesterday. It's just going to be interesting what happens with Aubameyangs moving forward. Is he finished or does he get his head down and think, I want to be a part of this? Christoph said, Curtis and Hugh Wizzy on top 4 only settings today. I'm telling you, big up Wizzy as well. I'm glad if people are moving like that, that's how we got to move. Arsene Wenger told us, people. Arsene Wenger told us all them years ago. And I doubted him. Forgive me, Arsene. Arsene said top 4 is like a trophy. And right now, top 4 feels like this. It feels good. Feels good to be home. You know what I mean? It feels... We got a home again. I just realised, Arsenal, we've been homeless for about 5 years. If we're not in the top 4, we're not in the right place. For me, I feel like Arsenal belong in the top 4, man. We got to be there. Diego said... apologies. Big up, Big C. Need more Arteta, Lacazette, and Laurie Wright minutes. Big 3. I'm telling you, man, the 3 Musketeers. It was fun last night because usually, we're going, we're so bad. This player's terrible. The manager. It was nice. We won a game and we could enjoy it and celebrate shamelessly, people. But yeah, like I said, you have to enjoy the highs, people. We've had enough lows as Arsenal fans. Before we get into the press conference reaction, it's been quite a long stream already. I'll be on for at least another 20 minutes or so. Man said, honey, I'm home. I'm telling you, top 4, man. We're back in the 4, people, where we rightly belong. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. There's a story going around today. Now, again, don't shoot the messenger. The first thing you're going to say here is this a load of rubbish, not even worth discussing. But I'm going to bring it up. Arsenal are being linked with this guy today. Out of nowhere. This could just be pure waffle. January transfer window's coming up, blah, blah, blah. There's a story today that Mason Greenwood is unhappy at Manchester United. He signed a new contract a year ago, up until 2025. So by the end of this season, he would have 3 years left. He earns 75 grand a week. Now, apparently his agent is disappointed with the lack of game time that Greenwood is getting and says that it's holding his international career back. He's not even getting in the England squads. This was the guy that Manchester United were saying is generational. Now, let me just start this by saying this. I don't think that this story has any real legs to it, right? It's probably his agent trying to apply some pressure on Man United to say, listen, he's not happy. What I will say, I do think Greenwood is a fantastic player. You know, I know he plays for United, and by right, we should just slander him. I think he's a very, very good footballer. He's 20 years of age. He's two-footed. It gives me kind of Van Persie vibes, how he plays. But he's not happy. He earns 75 grand a week. Listen, you know, one thing Arsenal can do is pay wages. You know, you could easily slap 150 on him and say, listen, come and double your money and live in London. You know, imagine Saka, Greenwood, Martinelli and ESR. Oof, it's an absolute problem. But listen, like I said, I don't expect it to happen. And but I like to discuss with the community. And you know what? Let's get another poll up. I'll get another poll up there. What's the results of the Lacazette one? 54% of you said you would give Lacazette a new contract. And 46 said no. So let's get another poll up. Would you sign Mason Greenwood? Would you sign Mason Greenwood? Like I said, I don't think there's any legs to it, but we have to cover it because, you know, I remember David Ornstein. I always say Ornstein said, no, Pepe, there's nothing in it. He's not going to Arsenal. They can't pay 72 million. You know, if I'd have sat there and said, you know what? Ornstein says he's not going to Arsenal. I won't make a video on it. 5 days later, he was holding up an Arsenal shirt. So we still got to discuss it. 75k a week. Listen, let me tell you one thing. If I could get Mason Greenwood to Arsenal, 100% I would sign him. He is a top young English player. Top quality. He is up there. He's probably been playing under the wrong manager. If you're a young player with that much talent, the last manager you want to play for is on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He isn't going to develop you as a footballer and improve you as a coach. You know, and you know, we know that Manchester United have had issues, so we'll have to see. So the poll is up. Second poll is up. Would you take Mason Greenwood at Arsenal? The story doesn't feel to me like it's got any real legs. I mean, it's out of the Sun as well. I always apologise when a story comes out of the Sun. We know that the Sun newspaper is, not a great source. Manchester United wonder kid Mason Greenwood has emerged as a shock target for Arsenal, with Barcelona and Juventus keeping an eye on the situation. Greenwood could be the ideal long-term replacement for Lacazette or Aubameyangs and become a focal point for Mikel Arteta's attack. Apparently, Arsenal, Barcelona have been watching him for a long time. Juventus are also looking at Martial. I mean, there's no quotes. Listen, it's a weak news story. I can't lie. It's a weak news story. So I don't expect it to happen. TM said Greenwood is too greedy, shoots on sight. I mean, listen, sometimes you need a shoot on sight striker. Pep Teta, would you sign Sterling or Greenwood? I mean, I got to be honest, I'd take both of them. But if I had to pick one, that's a tough one. I feel like Greenwood, because he can play as a striker. And I think Sterling to me is at his best on the left. I think Smith Rowe can play on the left. Martinelli can play on the left. Saka can play on the left. Even though I would take Sterling, I would probably take Greenwood over him because he can play through the middle. He can play on the right. I think Greenwood will become a striker long term. I think he'll become a striker long term. But listen, it's one of them. I'm not going to talk about it for too long. As I said, I don't think the story has many legs behind it, but we do have to discuss it. If it happened, you know, it'd be silly of me to just sit there and ignore it and say, you know, it's not going to happen. You never know. Just quickly as well, before we get into the press conference, Waffle Settings is pending, people. This was our defence last night against West Ham. Now, Benjamin White, by the way. It was a good night for you, Benjamin. I'm telling you. You made me smile with that performance, and that picture makes me smile. Arsenal's back four last night won all of their duels on the floor against West Ham yesterday. Every single one of them. Tierney 3 out of 3, Ben White 2 out of 2, Tomiyasu 5 out of 5, and Gabriel 2 out of 2. The defense were defending. I mean, this picture, that picture makes me proud. I mean, I don't know. Man's got Antonio swimming on the Emirates. I love it. The other week, what was we saying? Ben White was twerking at Anfield. Not last night. Not last night. Mikel Antonio was doing a Tom Daly diving around on the Emirates pitch. We done our thing last night. We done our thing. As I said before, people, best performance of the season. Gabriel just casually holding off Antonio. Tierney, stronger than a Tesco bag. And Tomiyasu handling business. Great defensive performance. Back four deserve a lot of credit as well as the goalkeeper. Man said, I believe I can fly. Antonio, man, yo. Well, you know what? That guy, the guy who I was just singing the song, actually, I better stop singing that song. He's a little, he's been cancelled, hasn't he? But yeah, Antonio, man, I'm just swimming all around. You know, Antonio plays for Jamaica, so, you know what I mean? I defend you away from playing against Arsenal, but last night, you got dealt with, bro. You got dealt with. Benjamin, you don't need to watch football if you play like that, but do it all the time. Do it all the time. Just keep doing it. Right. It's that time. It's waffle season, people. Get the syrup ready. Get the lunch ready. Get the brunch, the breakfast, the tea, wherever you are in the world. I don't know what time it is. Whatever you're eating, it's that time, people. It is waffle settings. And listen, the manager is going to be absolutely gassed right now. And you know what? You should be. You should be enjoying yourself right now because things are guaning at Arsenal right now, people. Look at this guy. Mickey Ross. Coma music. Mick Ross settings, people. Every day I'm waffling. Big up Polymation, of course. Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. The waffles are coming to fruition, people. It's starting to work. Nemo, thank you for the super chat. Curtis, can we just take 1 minute to remember the defense we had and now just watch how it has improved? I'm so happy and proud of them. Credit to the board. 100%. 100%. I feel I can trust this back four, and that's the biggest compliment I can give them. Mr. Modo said you didn't rate the ref. I didn't, but he gave us a penalty that was very questionable. So in the end, yeah, big up Anthony Taylor. I don't rate him as a ref, though, although how many refs do we rate? Let's be totally honest. It's that time, people. Waffle settings. Let's hear from the manager himself, Mikel Arteta, on last night's victory. And I said he looks like a gangster. And GF99 said, Curtis, can you see the light now? I can see the light. It's still a little bit in the distance. It's not like bright in front of my face, but I am starting to see the light. I am, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're fourth in the race right now, but there's a lot of laps to go, people. You know what I mean? You've seen it in the Olympics, man, them long distance races. You see a man start running the first 2 laps. You see them man just jogging in the background like, yeah, listen, mate, don't worry. When we get on that final lap, I'm just going to put the burners on and go past you, and that's it. No ESR rating. Forgive me. 7 out of 10. Came on. Fantastic goal. How did I forget ESR? It's because I forgot to do the subs, apart from Eddie and Ketia, because everyone was shouting him. ESR, 7 out of 10. You know what? I'm giving him 8 out of 10. Came on, made the difference, scored. Brilliant finish. Love it. 8 out of 10. Apologies, ESR. Baller. Right, let's talk about the gaffer. He looks knackered, by the way. He looks like he's had a long week. That Aubameyangs stuff stressed him out, man. I'm telling you. Fran said them lights can get turned off very quick. I'm telling you, when I was younger, man, times were hard. Sometimes the electric ran out. You had to press that emergency button. You know, the PlayStation or the Super Nintendo, whatever I was playing, just turn off mid-game. You know, you're playing Mario Kart, you're on the final lap, you're winning, electric just locks off, lights go off, TV goes off, fridge switches off. You have to run downstairs, open the box, press that emergency button. If you know, you know, people. So, yeah, the lights are on right now, but you have to make sure there's enough electric till the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to make sure at Arsenal. 1.7k watching. Smash that like and subscribe, people. It's a big help. Joe said, loving your show. 4 a.m. in Hawaii. Nutmeg story made me cry. And Martinelli is Christmas, the great hope. We got to love Martinelli, man. What a player. Arteta deserves credit. He does. He does deserve credit. He does. I told you I will give him his flowers, people. Do you know what? I'd probably give Arteta 8 out of 10 for yesterday's game. I felt he was strong by leaving ESR on the bench when a lot of people were probably saying bring him back in. And I think he made the right choice by not starting him, but he knew when to bring him on. The only thing I didn't rate was bringing on Eddie Nketiah over Pepe. But even that, I understand what the reasoning behind it probably is. He's thinking 10 minutes, it was 1-0 at the time. He just wanted the hard work of Eddie. He probably looks at Pepe and thinks, is Pepe going to graft, when we need him to defend? And I think that's the reason. But at the time, I was furious, I can't lie. Pain point settings, man. Someone had to run to the shop and someone had to just sit in the dark for 10 minutes, man. It was painful. Jorge said, Curtis, but it's the players. Kevin settings. Well, yeah, there you go. When we're bad, he said it's the players. So when we're good, it's the players, eh? Arteta on the win. Martinelli, top 4 and more. Let's see what he's got to say. Mikel Arteta was a happy man after we beat West Ham United to move into the top 4. Whoo! That top 4 feels good. It feels good to be home. Yo, we're back where we belong. We've been living in hotels, hostels. I don't know where we've been for the last 5 years. Europa League is like a hostel. You know what I mean? Now we're back. We're back in the Hilton, man. You know what I mean? Back in the proper hotel. But how long we're there for, that's the question. Afterwards, he faced the media and discussed the win. Martinelli, Lacazette and more. It's funny they don't say Aubameyangs now, and it's just and more. On his feelings after the win, I won't make this drag too long. We've been on over an hour and 5 minutes already. He said, I'm really pleased with the performance, the attitude, the commitment and the quality that we showed and the chemistry that we generated again with our supporters. To win a game at home is really important because it sets the tone of the team against a really good side that is difficult to dominate the way we did. I think that Arsenal, if we're going to have a real top season, I think at the moment there are two Arsenals. There is an Arsenal at the Emirates and there is an Arsenal away from the Emirates. I saw that Arsenal are joint top of the Premier League with their home record. Only Manchester City have a better home record than Arsenal this season. We're 12th in the league in our away record. That's the problem. And this is where I think the problem is. Arsenal have a young team. A lot of inexperienced players, and I think they're connecting to the energy. And I think when they're at home with 60,000 at the Emirates who are backing them, who are cheering them, who are pushing them forward, nice pitch, big pitch, I think they can thrive. At Everton, on a cold Monday night in the rain with all the, the Everton fans having a go at you and Decore's crunching you, I think sometimes we shy away a little bit. And that's what we've got to figure out. You can't get top 4. You can't get top 6 if you're simply a good home team. That's not enough. You have to be able to go away and get results. A manager always said to me, I judge players off how good you are when you're bad. How good are Arsenal when they're bad? I think when Arsenal are bad, we're terrible. When we're bad, we lose 5-0 to Man City, 4-0 to Liverpool, 2-0 to Brentford. We've got to start being better when we're bad. That's where you will see if this team can be successful or not. There's a lot of games where I've watched Man City. I'm like, they didn't even play that well, but they won. Watch Chelsea. They weren't great. They won. Liverpool, same thing. When we're bad, we go too bad. The level's got to remain at a certain standard. Even against Everton, we should have got a point minimum. Everton were terrible. Man United, we should have got a point minimum. They didn't play well. So that's going to be the difference between finishing top 4, top 6 or top 8 or whatever. So we're going to have to see. That's what we have to figure out. Man said it's rough out there. I'm telling you, man. We've been in some rough places the last 5 years in this Europa League and not even Europe anymore. Darren said Leeds have just 11 fit players at the moment. I mean, listen, a lot of games are being called off at the moment. People are talking about, having a break, 2 weeks off and all sorts of things. So South London's finest, so that's where the senior players need to step up 100%. Definitely agree with that. We read that. He said, on if he needed to speak to the team before the game about why Aubameyang missed out. He said, the players play for the club and they played with the pride and energy we all expect from them. I was really happy from the beginning how focused they were to play the game, to put a good performance in. We knew we had to play really well today to beat West Ham, and I think we've done that. Listen, as I said, people, for me, it was the best performance of the season. For the reason that I said at the start is that word control. You know, when we beat Tottenham, I felt second half we lost control. When we played Leicester, I felt second half we lost control. I think the Villa game we played very well, but we did concede, and they had a couple of chances after that. I thought we kept West Ham quiet yesterday. On how good, a proper non-answer. What I'm finding really strange, just to go off topic, with the whole Aubameyangs situation, this is where I'm still not too sure what's going off with the Aubameyangs situation. If you're a manager and you have a falling out with Aubameyang, surely at some stage the two of you have a conversation and you try and move forward. You say, listen, Auba, armband's gone. Maybe it was holding you back. You've got to sort out your attitude, but you're still an Arsenal player, still part of my plans, and let's try and move forward. The fact that he's not talking about Aubameyang in any kind of positive light, he's not saying anything that would indicate that the door is open for him. You know, he's not saying, listen, I've spoken to Auba and he's back in training. It's down to him to earn his place back in the squad. He's simply shutting everything down. And that makes me think, I reckon at the moment they're having discussions about whether Aubameyang will continue at the club or not. I definitely think they're not sure whether Aubameyangs will continue here or not. That's why he's clearly not answering the question. On how good our young players can become and if they are the future, he said, I think they were all really good and the senior players led by example. We had some really strong performances, which was needed to beat this team. I'm really pleased. We shared the goals. It was important for Gabby to score a goal like he did today. In general, I'm really pleased. It was important, and it was, Thierry Henry settings, that finish from Gabby. Cold War settings, that they're definitely, I don't think they've settled their differences. To be honest, I don't expect Aubameyang to be in the squad for Leeds. I think he'll pick the same squad that played yesterday. Thomas said, good point, Curtis. He's not trying to big up Aubameyang at all. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't said one thing that indicates he's on his way back. The door is open. It's just like you said, listen, someone just said there, Imran said, Curtis, you don't know what conversations Arteta has had in private. It just seems interesting that he's not saying anything that would indicate you will see him back in an Arsenal shirt. He said, on if it helps that all the youngsters are growing up and coming through together. I think it helps because some of them know each other from the academy. The chemistry is there. I really like the link and the way the senior players are contributing as well. He keeps reiterating the senior players. They're really enjoying helping those boys in a context that at times has been difficult. They've been really consistent. Here's the Aubameyang question. On if there's any news on when Aubameyang will return to the team, and he says no news. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. As I've said many times, if Aubameyang's finished and they're going to get rid of him in January, they've got to replace him. They've got to replace him because things change quickly in football. And I know people will say, oh, you're only saying this because it's Aubameyang. But I'm just trying to put it into the context. When Granit Xhaka threw the armband, you would have said that day he won't play for Arsenal again. Now he's in the team. Now, a lot of people don't want him in the team, but he's there and we've kind of just accepted it because the manager's going to keep playing him. With Lacazette, a year ago, a lot of fans wanted him gone. He wasn't scoring. He was, lack of threat. Now he's the captain. We're talking about should he get a new deal. Aubameyang can still turn this situation around if he's willing to knuckle down, if he can find that quality again. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I just find it really interesting that the manager won't talk about it. We've ended the Mason Greenwood poll. 72% of you have said you would take Mason Greenwood. And you know what? I'm going to do the hat trick. Let's finish off with a third poll. Why not? I'm loving the polls. Do you think Aubameyang will play for Arsenal again? That's my final question of the day. Do you think Aubameyang will play for Arsenal again? There you go. Hat-trick of polls today, people. Because it is interesting. I just think those two have not settled their differences. I think they've had a conversation. Like I said, people, he trained yesterday. Aubameyang trained yesterday. I think he trained with the players that weren't in the group. Didn't train with the youth team, just the players that weren't in the group. Cody Mystify said, nah, he's been disrespected too much. I mean, it was interesting that Thomas Tuchel was defending Aubameyang in his press conference yesterday, and you think, that's crazy, isn't it? His own manager and him are obviously having a tough time, and a manager of another club is bigging him up. You know, it's crazy. Royston said, I believe Aubameyang said or reacted angrily to something said by him, or he challenged Arteta out of anger. I just think, and listen, I don't know, none of us really know, but just if I'm guessing, I think that Aubameyang would have had an argument with Arteta when that armband was taken off him. I don't think that was a simple accepting conversation of, okay, oh, you're taking the armband off me, okay, cool. I think that would have been an argument. But hey, who knows? On if today was Martinelli's best performance under Arteta, he said, well, certainly it was one of the best in every aspect of the game. He was cramping again and he needs to mature in that sense. But his overall understanding of the game is getting much better. He's able to put some gears into his play. Sometimes he's still doing everything at 100 miles an hour, but the energy and the quality it shows at the time is top. Ooh, a little slide disc there. The disc tracks out. This is why I call him Mick Ross. He drops them little subliminals in. But listen, do you know what? I actually agree with him a little bit, despite the fact he is having a little bit of a go at him. I watched a thing on Pep Guardiola once who says the best players can play at different speeds. It's like a car. You can't be in the same gear all the time. He was talking about Foden, saying that Foden needs to be able to play at a slow tempo and a fast tempo. I think the general feeling is that Martinelli does everything at 100 miles an hour. He needs to have that slower tempo where he can get the ball and slow things down sometimes. I think this is why he's saying, you know, he probably cramps up a lot because he's constantly running so quick. So I do understand what he's saying there. But listen, we have to big up Martinelli. It was a fantastic performance. It was interesting that Martinelli came off the pitch to go down injured, and Arteta picked him up and put him back on the pitch to say, yo, Bredgen, if you're injured, you lay on the pitch, you make the players kick the ball out, and you get some treatment and we stop the game. You don't come off the pitch and allow West Ham to play with 10 men. So listen, I told you people, I'm fair on Arteta when the time is right. I agree. I do think Martinelli has to be able to play at two different speeds. It is important. Thierry Henry, he could slow a game down when he needed to. I like high tempo. I like high press. But sometimes you can't play at 100 miles an hour for a whole game. Very true for Arteta. Gabby is Ferrari settings. Reem said, I think that criticism is constructive. I think he wants him to be a top player. I agree with it. Zach said, I want urgency. Listen, I do actually agree with Arteta there that I do think he needs to be able to, play at different tempos. Dark art settings, man. If you're injured, you stay on the pitch. You don't come off and give them the advantage. So hopefully they're getting more of an understanding. He said, on two good performances with Lacazette as captain, and if it's his armband now, he said, well, he's the next in line and he's taking it the way everybody saw today with such a pride and commitment, and I'm really happy with the way he played. It's looking like Lacazzette's going to be the captain, and I have to admit, now I've thought about it, I think it's the right decision. I just think, I don't think your Gabriels, your Tierneys, they need that additional pressure right now. I think in the summer, give somebody the armband, from fresh if Lacazette leaves. I think Lacazette is a good leader. And again, I've heard he's very, very highly respected inside the football club for his professionalism. So, yeah, it's his. It was interesting that when Lacazette came off, that Granit Xhaka got the armband. They very quietly snuck it on Granit Xhaka's arm, but because we were winning, we accepted it. On if Lacazette is relishing the captaincy role, he said absolutely, but Lacazette has always been like that in the dressing room. You see the way... Oh, apologies, it's scrolling up. He said, you see the way he acts with the young players, how willing he is to help. It's in his nature. He's not a selfish player. He's happy when he makes the rest better, and he's like that in the dressing room. Listen, I might be reading way too much into this, and I could be completely wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong. Why do I feel like everything he's saying to big up Lacazette, it's almost like he's digging out Aubameyangs? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, and I'm way off topic. And if I am, then I apologise. But it's like, Lacazette has always been like that in the dressing room. You see the way he acts with the young players. It's in his nature. He's not a selfish player like Aubameyangs. I just feel like he's dissing Auba, man. But listen, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Mick Ross settings, man. He said, on the penalty, he said, I haven't seen it, so I cannot judge it. I mean, what? What do you mean you haven't seen it? You haven't seen it? Surely you must have seen it. What did he do? Turn around when he took the penalty? I know some managers actually don't watch penalties because they can't, it's too painful. Mangi said I'm reading too much. Apologies. Some people saying he is indirecting at him. Curtis sees the light. Joke, man. Just being fair. Hey, the light's in the distance, man. So, Mikel Arteta said he didn't see the penalty. He said, I haven't seen it, so I cannot judge it. That's a crazy answer. So, you're telling me Arsenal missed a penalty, and not only did he not watch it, he didn't just look on the screen after and watch a replay of it. That is interesting. If I'm a manager, I need to see that penalty, bruv. He's doing a Wenger there. I did not see it. I cannot believe it. I cannot make a comment. I did not see it. Apologies, people. That was my Wenger/French accent. He said, on going into the top four, if it shows how far the rebuild has come in the last 12 months. He said, obviously, there are really positive signs. Not only that, but also how the team is playing. We've made some progress. There's still a lot to do. We have to be aware of that. We've had some bumps in the road. I think we've learned a lot. First of all, because we've stuck together from the top of the club to every member of the team and staff. The biggest compliment I can give, and the players are feeling the exact same way, is the way the crowd are behind us. To see that chemistry between the crowd and team is unique. And I'm proud of that. Man said he was busy conducting traffic. I mean, listen, and this is what I'm saying. He can even see that this team thrive off the chemistry with the crowd. Away from home, you don't get that. They don't like you. You're away from home. They're not cheering you when you're taking a corner. They're probably throwing coins at you. And this is what they need to learn to deal with. Again, Leeds lost 7-0 midweek to Man City. We play them at the weekend. Just make sure we handle business. Excellent imitation of Wenger. I thought it was quite good. If we find a player that can improve the squad, we will do it. And then, deadline day comes, he doesn't sign anyone. Wenger, man. Can you imagine me doing these press conferences on Arsene Wenger? On if being in the top four at this stage of the season means anything, he said no, because the league finishes in May, but it's much better than where we were, and we want to be higher. We need to find that consistency. We know the level of this league. This league is absolutely ruthless, and tomorrow is always different to today, so let's prepare for the next game. Wow, this man's writing paragraphs. So, yeah, we definitely have to prepare for the next game. On if Arsenal need to produce these kind of performances away from home, absolutely. He said, we went to Old Trafford. I think we played much better than last year. I still don't understand that. We went there and beat them 1-0 and kept a clean sheet last year. I thought we played better last year. That's where we have to come away from these grounds when we get the performance with the points. That's the next challenge. Listen, man, we have got to go and beat Leeds. The thing is, Leeds at home are a much better team. They will press. They'll make life difficult. Against Man City, they were dreadful. They were absolutely dreadful. Wenger didn't see anything. Yeah, he didn't see anything at all, did he, Arsene Wenger, man? I did not see it. Wenger, man, what a guy. On the forwards, setting the team with their defensive work. He said, that's what I demand them to do. If we are to play that way we want, and I want, those players have to be able to do that consistently in every action. That's why it facilitates everything what happens behind, because the process is done at the right moment with the right rhythm and intensity. I'm really pleased with that. Somebody translate that for me, people. He was going in. He was speaking waffleese there, people. He was going. He was going. Albert said Arteta is such a weasel. He's not a fan of it. On if this is the most synergy is felt between the players and fans, he says probably yes, because they show exactly what I expect from them. total unity with the team. We are building a project. The word project is back, people, in full effect. And I always said to build a project without the people we play for is going to be impossible because they are the biggest pillar of the project. When they are there with us, the team grabs that pillar and we can become really strong. I'm really pleased with that. Hey, Arteta's grabbing pillows. This is Arteta holding on to the project. The team grabs that pillar and we become really strong. I'm really pleased with that. He's grabbing pillars, people. Oh, dear me. He is the Boris Johnson of press conferences, people. We're back at the project. Trust the project. Trust the process. Oh, dear me. What a guy. Waffle settings in full effect, man. Oh, my days. The guy's crazy. He grabs the pillow and it all makes sense then, people. Oh, man. And if he's happy with the progress his defence is making, he said, as I said before, I think it's a collective matter. When you have your front players doing the work they are doing right, it facilitates everything. It's true that we have made a lot of progress in understanding and preventing situations. We've cut down on a lot of individual errors, which has cost us a lot of points in the past. I think we're going in the right direction, yes. I mean, man, that was a long press conference. Apologies. I hope I haven't bored you all to sleep, people. That was some serious waffle. Oh, man. Let me end the poll, by the way. Where are we at? What was it? I actually forgot what the question was. We've done that many polls today. Do you think Aubameyangs will play for Arsenal again? 67% of you say yes. 67% say yes, 33% say no. Interesting. So you do expect to see Aubameyangs back in an Arsenal shirt. Get your comments in. Let's do 5 minutes of comments, then we'll get out of here, people. We've been on for nearly an hour and a half. Chris said, I need to get myself some waffleese lessons. Bruv, I'm telling you. Oh, dear. Alpha said, Arsenal is one of the best teams. The young players are doing good. Listen, we're climbing. We're improving. It's clearly obvious for people to see. We're moving in the right direction. It's how long is it going to take for us to get there? You know, we can't do all this and then end the season 8th again. No one's going to care what was happening in December. Finish the season in the right way. Get us somewhere we need to get to. Josh said, good morning, Curtis. Earlier hours in the morning over here. Stan is buzzing after last night. I'm sure he is, Josh. I'm sure he is. Trust the pillow. Listen, I know he said pillow, but you know what I mean. For banter purposes, pillow was much more fun, you know. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. Listen, you'll get me once, people. You know, I have to do it once. I can't deny it. Aubameyangs will play again, but that doesn't mean he doesn't go in the summer. That's a good point. Donny said top 4, you know. Come on, man. Yo, man's eating. We're high up in that table right now. Tony said, good result yesterday means nothing if we lose to Leeds this weekend. Spot on. In fact, that Thierry Henry goal there is against Leeds United. So yeah, that is a you know, a team we need to be beating. Captain Sal said, run out of syrup. Adam said, do you have beef with any YouTuber? Listen, man, YouTubers ain't real beef, man. This ain't the streets. It's different. Brent said, top 4, big C in the mud. Arteta is the GOAT. Listen, Brent, you know me. I'll come on here eating humble pie all day long. All day long. I don't mind. But like I said, let's finish in these positions. I came on here shameless today. We need to finish there. You know, finish the season there. Like Mr. was saying, consistency is key. I'm going to phone Pierre and say you're fired. Oh, dear, Pierre, man. I mean, Leeds are in pain right now. The problem is when a team is struggling so much, it's like they're a wounded animal. Sometimes it means you can go there and batter them 4-0, or they're more dangerous because they're even more determined. That's kind of what we got from Everton. We thought, you know, they keep losing games. We'll go there and batter them. We actually went there and got done by them, you know. So we need to make sure we beat Leeds. It'll be a tricky game. It will be a tricky game despite the fact they just lost 7-0 to Manchester City. Do you think the Leeds game will happen? I mean, who knows, man? Games getting called off left, right and centre at the moment. So let's see. Just end the season now. Wherever you are in the table, just do that. I'm more than happy with that. McLovin said it's only December, only matters in May. You're right, but we've had tough times, man. I'm going to enjoy the moment. I'll take Huckleberry Pie instead. Kid said, Curtis, get Troops on again. Yeah, man, Troops, I'll have to, reach out to him soon. Like I said, I'm going to try and get some collabs done, a few different faces on here, or people who haven't been on for a while. So, yeah, I'm going to get that sorted, people. Danny, said, Leeds are done, bro, 3 points. It just never works like that, man. Especially with Arsenal. Biswadeep said Rafinha will turn up like Ronaldinho. Wouldn't surprise me, man. Stay Fresh said Martinelli assist to himself for the goal. Martinelli missed the rebound on his own shot. Martinelli got 2 free kicks in great positions. He also got a penalty, which Lacazette missed. Martinelli man of the match. I mean, first of all, the only thing, Stay Fresh, just to quote your comments, the goalie was assisted by Lacazette, little through ball. The penalty, Lacazette won the penalty. So, no, a couple of those things are wrong. But I hear you. You're happy for Martinelli. Richard Reed said, big up Big C. The only thing that I wasn't keen on was Tierney grabbing his face after a forearm smash to the chest. Yeah, man, he's come down to the Prem. He's starting with the melodramatic stuff now, Siraj said, first stream, subbed and liked the vid. We'll be back for more content. Welcome to the community, man. Omar said, have you discussed Aubameyangs? Listen, we had a discussion of Aubameyangs. Do you think he'll play again for Arsenal? It's interesting that, the manager is not mentioning him in any kind of positive way of him being back in the team. He's not saying that he's going to be back, But listen, time will tell. Biswadeep, I will be doing the Tottenham-Liverpool watch-along on Sunday if that game happens. South London's finest. Curtis, have you heard about our new Bayern Munich scout? Apparently, we are looking at the Bundesliga in January. I did hear that we've taken a scout from Bayern Munich who's meant to be very highly rated. So, yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we'll sign someone decent from the Bundesliga. You never know. The geezer said, out of negative at last. Listen, as I always say, man, and I don't. You know what? I don't hide from these comments. I will be a reflection of the team. If we're playing poorly, dropping points, you ain't going to see me smiling and dancing. Because one thing with me, I'm a realist. I think Arsenal should demand high standards. We're a massive football club. We got a lot of money, big fan base, great history. We should demand high standards. If this team perform, you will see me happy, excited. You saw my intro at the start. Shameless. More than happy, people. So, it is what it is. I'm not going to tell you that we're great when we're not, when we're finishing 8th. But when we're playing well and we're flying high, you will hear that. So it's as simple as that for me. Big C, have you ordered that puppy yet? Hey, listen, man, I tried to get it next day delivery. They wouldn't do it. What if we buy a new striker and midfielder in January? Where do you think we will be? Listen, if we were to get a top striker and midfielder, I think we could challenge for top 4. I just don't think Arsenal will spend that kind of money in January. I genuinely don't. Unless they get Aubameyangs off the wage bill. It's wages as well as transfer fees. I think maybe we get a midfielder. Although Fabrizio's saying we're looking at a striker more than a midfielder, which is interesting. One game at a time. You're spot on, Eros. You are spot on. One game at a time. Danny said, Defo a realist. Big up. That's it, man. Oh, the geezer. Apologies, man. There's me. I'm going for him. Although it made sense what I was saying anyway. But he said out of the negative goal difference I meant. Hey, apologies, man. But yeah, finally. What are we on? +1? Other teams, they've been there for a while. But it is interesting because outside of, I think, the top 3, a lot of teams are still on minus. I think only Leicester, Palace, Man United, West Ham and Arsenal. Everyone else, obviously Chelsea, Liverpool, City, everyone else is on minus. So, listen, we're going to round up. We're going to round up people. We've been on for over an hour and 30. And I think the best way to end the stream, the ideal way to end the stream is like this. How we started is the way we're going to end. People, it's been a great stream. 1,700 of you in the chat. It's been epic. Smash the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you can see your team on this screen, then welcome to the big table. We're eating steak. We ain't eating no cheeseburgers. We're living life right now. Yeah, it could go wrong on Saturday against Leeds, but for now, we're going to enjoy it. Enjoy the highs, people. This is VIP only. You get bottles of champagne on your table. You don't have to queue up and collect your own. So I think it's only right we go, Sweet Caroline. Oh, oh, oh. Good times never seem so good. So good. So good. Come on, you Gunners. If you can see your team on this screen, then thank you very much. We're the big boys right now. If you are not on this screen, send me an email. Hit me up on Twitter. I will not be able to hear you this high in the table. Before we leave, Abdullah with the super chat. Big up Curtis. Arteta don't like Aubameyangs because he is Arteta out like myself. I don't trust him 100%, and I believe Aubameyangs doesn't trust him. Interesting. Will we ever see Aubameyangs in an Arsenal shirt? People, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be previewing the Leeds game, assuming that game happens. You know, there's already stories that Leeds are struggling with cases, so let's hope that game goes ahead. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. We are top 4. Sitting pretty. We are back home. It feels good to be home. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for a great stream, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bless.